Win.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. This is podcast number 92. We got a good one coming off the first victory of 2021 after the first game. But let me get to my co-host as always first, starting off with my main man, Steph. Steph, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. We won a tough game against a tough opponent that's been playing really well in the Portuguese league and the Europa League. And they played well, actually. We got lucky in certain portions of the game, but we got it done and very, very content. And we'll talk about it in more detail.
Exactly. Also joined by Christian. Christian, how you doing, dude?
I am honestly feeling a lot, even better today than I was on Saturday, I guess, because got the result that we needed in the other game today. We're sitting two games clear of both of our rivals now. 4 points up on both Benfica and Porto now. It was a tense 8 minutes of stoppage time today. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah,
feeling pretty good right now. I'm not gonna lie. Ready to go on a road trip to the island, to Madeira.
True. For the next 2 games too.
Yeah, seriously.
And last but not least, joined by my man Sam. Sam, how you doing, bro?
I'm freezing. I've got the hoodie and the shirt combination.
I can tell, bro.
But no, other than that, I'm good. I will just say to start off, stick to the end of this episode because we've got a huge announcement at the end, is all I'll say. So yeah, stick to the end.
Teaser alert. Let's go. A huge announcement at the end. Facts. Let's start it off, reeling them in. Let's start off with our Twitter questions as always. Let me pull that up right here. You guys can see that, right?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So first question comes in from our man Rui Costa. He's the good Rui Costa at Rui Costa 3010518. Whew, that took the breath out of me. Anyways, he asks, do you think Paulinho transfer is imminent? And do you think the title would be guaranteed for us if we sign him? That's a big question. Sam, I'll give that one to you, dude. What do you think?
Title guarantee? I don't think so, but I think it definitely is a possibility. And I think if it is a possibility, we should give what we said this last episode. We should just give what they want because Paulinho is just that. I think he's just that good of a player. And while he'll definitely increase the title hopes, is definitely not a guarantee. I think we've all been alive long enough to know you can never count Benfica or Porto out of a title race. So,
unfortunately, yeah. Do you think the transfer is imminent though? Do you think he's coming?
I think so. By the end of January, he'll be here.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling too. I'm going to be honest with you, which I don't know what to make of it, but anyways, we'll see how that plays out. Next question comes in from our man all the way from Jordan Abdallah at Abdarmuti92. He asks if Porto and Benfica drew and we win against Benfica, should we consider our chances real to clinch the title? Don't want to be disappointed, please.
The theme with these questions
is disappointment. Christian, I'll give that one to you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty real right now, right? After we saw Benfica's result today, I thought that they were going to get lucky because they lucked out of having to play in a rainstorm. I was like, oh wow, great chance for them to drop points because it's a literal tsunami on the field. But they had a chance to play on like seemingly normal conditions today, and they were pretty bad. So yeah, I'm 4 points. You know, that's 2 games clear. It feels good. We just gotta obviously keep rolling because one slip up, and you know that gap can be close to 1 point. You know, pretty easily, and then it's like fuck, they're right there. So yeah, it feels good to have them at arm's length, but long way to go.
Yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint. At the end of the day, it's still a couple of kilometers left. Next question comes in from Mindu at Mindu SCP. They ask, am I wrong, or the budget for this season hasn't still been voted, nor have the numbers for last season been validated through a general assembly? But I guess nobody cares as long as we're top of the league. Steph, what do you think of that, bro?
I'm not 100% sure about that. That's a good question. I'm not equipped to really answer that question.
No, it hasn't been approved yet.
Yeah, but that's what I thought too.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
Yeah, but
So basically, you just keep extending what the last budget would have been if there was like a 13th, 14th, 15th month. You just like average it out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as we're first place, no one's really worried poking around for stuff like that. They've managed to keep it on the back burner.
all I know is a couple sales we had, the last ones, they were not in the last report. So they will show up on the second quarter, which is now, January, February, March, second quarter of the year. So those numbers should be better than the last ones. The first quarter, we lost money. So the second quarter, we should see a plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right.
Yeah, because of the sales we had of the last players.
Just I want to mention just a quick shout out because we're gonna mention the game soon. But quick shout out to David Pereira, who's in the chat right now, our favorite Braga fan. Next question, I'll give this one to you, Steph, because the other one wasn't really a question. Jordan said, I think it's comments. So Jordan says, when do we get another 4-0 win? I miss being in a full control and dominating. That's true. And 2, how lucky were we in this game? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most lucky. I guess I'll give that one to you, Steph. You think we were lucky to win this game?
No. I mean, after you look at the, I didn't want to go into detail because we're going to talk about it. But two PKs were not called, and the question is, if this was Benfica and Porto, they would have been called. But since it was Sporting, it wasn't called. So it gave me the feeling that we always have to play more and more the double than Benfica and Porto to win games, because these calls, the 50-50 calls, in this case, they were 100% PKs. They were not called in our favor. And the VAR, there's nothing they can say because, God damn it, they have a bunch of cameras, different angles, and they still missed the call. Both calls, 2 PKs. And we'll talk about it more in detail. And the scale 1 to 10, were we lucky? I don't think so. I mean, Braga did have a couple opportunities, but if the PKs were called in our favor, it would have been leveled out in the first half. And then the second half, we played better than Braga, and that's when we scored both goals. So we would have won either way. So if we had the 2 PKs, 2 plus 2, 4, let's say Braga scored twice, it would have been 4-2. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah,
fair. Next question comes in from Fabio Cardoso Stan account of Mundo do Leão. He asks, why are you guys Sportingistas? Listen, there's enough podcasts about that. Why is Benfica shit? It's just since their existence, dude. And last but not least, thoughts on Mateus Reis. Christian, I'll pass the one to you, dude. It's seeming more and more likely that Mateus Reis is coming to Sporting, with Rumor actually heading the other direction. Interesting enough to Rio Ave. I know we spoke a lot about this guy in the past, but now that it does seem legit, what do you think? A good addition?
I'm not really sure what he has to offer. He hasn't played competitively in a while, so I think he's going to take a month or 2 to get rhythm. And as long as Antunes keeps holding it down in a decent enough way, it's not like his presence is that urgent. I mean, Nuno Mendes, who I guess didn't get injured this game, so that's
hallelujah.
That's an improvement. So yeah, as long as Nuno Mendes stays fit and Antunes keeps holding it down, Mateus Reis is just kind of like he's like a development project, But hopefully he's all right and brings another level. But it's obviously I think we'd need a right back project more than a left back project. But
agreed.
Antunes obviously is not going to last forever at the same time, and neither is Nuno Mendes, unfortunately, either.
But Mendes, I heard today, was it Liverpool or Madrid? They're really interested in.
Yeah, I saw Real Madrid like 2 days ago. That was the latest one.
You want him? That's fine. Pay 70 million. We need the money.
Listen,
we need the money. If you go for 70 million, there's nothing we can say. There's nothing we can say. That's a lot of money. You got to sell them for 70 million, But don't sell them for 50. Don't sell them for 60. Sell them for 70.
And let me just say, if Nuno Mendes ends up going to Liverpool, I don't know if there's an actual rule in place like in the NBA for FIFA in terms of tampering, but I want Liverpool fined because what the hell is Gigi Wijnaldum sending over Nuno Mendes' shirt? A signed
Sending
shirt.
merchandise. Yeah. Like Benfica, that's how Benfica bribes the refs. They give them all this signed merchandise.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't even think anybody got a signed shirt when we played the friendly against them back in New York, like last summer. It's a lot of coincidences. A lot of coincidences. But anyways, next comment comes in from Petteri Raisinen. I hope I said that right. He says, at Conformistin. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He says, time to give Sporad a spot in the starting 11, right? And time for Yannick Bolasie to make a guest appearance on the pod. Like with Sam saying more than overdue. I agree. More than overdue. Yannick, what are you waiting for, bro? Get on the podcast already. But Sam, I'll ask you, is it time for Sporad to get into the starting 11?
I think it all depends if Paulinho comes, really. For me, right now, with the two of them, I say I'm sort of liking the rotation. They both offer different things, and they both offer different styles. Like Sperara is more of a hold-up player, and he can sort of create his own chances. Where Thiago Tomas is a great finisher, and he's the delivery. But right now, I think just keep rotating them. It keeps them hungry, as we can see. It keeps them on form. Don't fix what isn't broken. Well, in my opinion, anyway.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. I'll give you the next question too. Comes in from Silva at Silva Bidisi Jr. or Jr. He asks, this week we heard that Ilori turned down a proposal to join RB or Red Bull New York on loan. What are your thoughts on that? Or New York Red Bull, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. What are your thoughts on that? What should we do with Camacho? He can't even be useful in the B team. So Sam, what do you think, dude?
On like a fan level, I fucking hate Ilori, but from a professional, you can't knock it. He was given the contract. He didn't like force them to give him it. They gave him it, and at the end of the day, he's just fulfilling his obligation as a sporting player, and especially during the times of a pandemic. I don't think he really wants to go to America for 12 months and then come straight back to Portugal. Maybe it was a more permanent thing I can understand, but for me as a fan, I hate it, but I can't knock it as a professional. But for Camacho, I don't know where all this hype has come from. Did you not watch last year? I saw someone tweet us saying, if we get rid of Camacho for the Paulinho deal, it's a loss because Camacho's a good player. And I'm like, when? When has he ever been a good player? I don't understand the hype. I think personally, we either cut our losses with him or loan him out. I don't think he's ever going to make it a sport. And if he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But what has he offered so far? And the answer is nothing.
Agreed. Cool. That's all the Twitter questions. Let's
also. I am very sad. I'm very sad that Ilori has not come to New York Red Bull. That New York Red Bull Stadium is like maybe 15 minutes by car away from me, North Jersey. I could have given him apartment advice. We could have chilled on the weekend, maybe. And now all that is not going to happen. But I will say there are rumors that Jesse Rodriguez is linked to MLS, unnamed teams. So hopefully Jesse lands in MLS because I think that's just what the league needs, a little more spice, I
agree. Did he not just release a new
just
track?
Released a hot new track. He's ready to go.
Jeez. Oh, phone's ringing. I think that's Varandas right now. But anyways, let's go straight into this game. Sporting with a big 2-0 win against Braga at home, of course, this weekend. Starting a lineup, the starting 11 was as followed. We had Adan in net, Luis Neto, Quach, and Fadal in the back, with Pedro Porro and Nuno Mendes on the wings. We had João Pedinha and João Mario in midfield, with Pedro Gonçalves, Thiago Tomás, and Nuno Santos up top. I'll go through the Braga lineup as well. They had Matheus Jeanette, Nuno Sequeira, Raul Silva, and Rolando, sort of playing in a back three, with Isgaio and Galeno sort of on the wings. But in the midfield, they had Fran Sergio, João Novaes, and Al Mustari, with Paulinho and Ricardo Horta up top. Just quickly, we had substitutions of Sporad, Tabata, and Mateus Nunes. They put in Ilori, who we know very well, and Shetin, I think is how you pronounce his name. Anyways, Sporting with a big 2-0 win. Steph, I'll pass it to you first, dude. What were your thoughts on this game?
Well, it was very crucial to win this game just because of all the media attention and our rival fans, Benfiquistas and Portistas. They kept on saying, we're not going to last for Christmas. We did. We're not going to last before New Year's. We did. We're not going to last until Dia dos Reis. We did. So winning against Braga was very important to shut everybody out because Braga is indeed a good team. We have to give credit where it's due. And they've been playing phenomenal in the Portuguese League and the Europa League. And winning against them 2-0. The first half, we got lucky a couple times. They did have the upper hand. They did play better at times. We started the game in a very strong manner. We dominated the game like 15, 20 minutes. It was all Sporting. But then after that, Braga took over. And they could have scored. They could have scored a couple times. But like I said, 2 PKs were not called. And even if they scored when they were supposed to score, when we got lucky, and Adan was in between the posts, saved the day, we would have been tied up at the end of the first half. Clear PK on Tete, Tiago Tomás, Raul Silva, a veteran, experienced, seasoned veteran, making that foolish foul. It doesn't matter. It's a PK. I watched the Juiz Final, the Sporting TV. I watched the referee Duarte Gomes on Record, and everybody agrees that should have been a PK. So my question is, with the VAR, which was Pinheiro, what the fuck was he doing? Was he watching another game? Why didn't he call that a PK? He's got a lot of time, a lot of angles, a lot of cameras, and still missing that call. It's provoking us Portuguese because we all know if it was the red shirt or the blue and white shirt, that PK would have been called. Then the other PK was Fidal. If you pay attention to detail, Rolando, his feet were on the ground, and Fidal jumped, and he pushed him when his feet were still on the ground, and then he pushed him. That's a clear PK. Clear PK. And it wasn't called. Again, I don't know why. That's why we have the VAR to make those tough calls. I'm not blaming on this case Verissimo. It was not his fault at all because that's really quick plays, and that's when the VAR has to intervene. They got a good call corrected, which was the offside goal to Paulinho. He was offside. It doesn't matter if it was only 14 centimeters. He was offside, and that's why the VAR exists. So at least they got that call corrected, which is good. But besides that, in the second half, we played better than Braga. We deserved to win. They did create a few chances of goal, but nothing significant in the second half. It was more in the first half. And Ruben Amorim was on point with the substitutions. He saw that the team was getting tired, and he was on time with them. And that was perfect timing to refresh the team and to keep our team at bay, and then to fortify the midfield and the defense to stop Braga, which was getting very dangerous towards the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. So I'm very content with this win. Sporting showed a lot of maturity, showed that we can compete for the title race, and we are competing for the title race. We in for the long run. Again, the Taça da Liga, I don't give a fuck. Play with the players that have been getting less minutes, and focus on the Liga de Nós. That's what we should focus on. The title race, again, Taça da Liga, I don't give two shits. But overall, to wrap it up, we'll play good enough to win the game, even if Braga scored twice like they should have. If we got into 2 PKs, it would have been 4-2.
Yeah, agreed. Christian, I'll pass the next one off to you.
Yeah, so I guess Steph did a good job capturing the main flows of the game for sure. We started out on top. Braga really didn't even get a sniff goal, and then the first half of the first half and then the second half of the first half, just the dynamics completely flipped. I guess in regards to the the PKs. I feel like the more I watched the Fidel one at first, so I went back and forth on this one. I at first thought it wasn't a PK because I didn't know if the push was good enough. And then I started to think that the push was good enough, and it's at the moment that he's about to head the ball. So then I'm starting to think it was a PK again. But then again, today I will look back on it, and I'm starting to think that the ball is I don't think he can get to the ball. I think it's too high in the air. It is bullshit that they called a foul because it's the Braga player that ends up taking out Mateus in goal. But at the end of the day, I think that it's like kind of like pass interference on an uncatchable ball. And for American football, like I think that the ball is too high. So the fact that Fidel gets pushed, I think it's harsh to call a PK. Same with the Tomas one, kind of harsh. I think for a PK, I think it is maybe just some run-of-the-mill shithousery. I'm not sure if it's intentional, but there's really not a good enough angle, I don't think, to give a PK. The one that I do think is a PK is the handball one. I think the handball is a PK.
I don't mean to cut you off on the TT PK, but I thought the same thing as you did. But then and that's what I mean about the VAR. They have the time to stop and see what's going on. Raul Silva looked at TT and then made the PK. He looked at him. I see him. Look at it again. Look at the replay. He looked at him, and then he made the foul. That's why it's a PK.
It's harsh to give an off-the-ball PK for like an incident that isn't like super violent or something crazy, you know.
This season center back, he should know better.
Yeah, for sure. I know. It's tough though. It's like I feel like Fidel is half and that one's half, but it's like 2 half PKs doesn't equal like a full PK. You know, the incidents have to be like judged on their own merit.
Intensity of the push, and then here we go. The question is, if this was Benfica, if this was Porto, you don't think they would have called it?
I think the only thing in there for sure. It's the handball one. The handball one.
Yeah, the handball. I think the only thing with that one on Tite is there's not a clear angle of it. That's my only thing. If there's a clear angle with him even that one, the one behind him where he comes across and then he falls. Okay. I agree. I think there is contact. I think it's just a little soft too. I'm gonna agree with Christian.
Okay, no,
but I mean, teach their own.
You know, I saw the Juiz Final, Tribunal, whatever they call it.
It's like the Coates one for me. You could go either way. I personally lean no on that one too. It's tough because I don't want to be too harsh. I don't want them to be called for too harsh. But then in other games, I see them go uncalled. So I don't know. I guess it's just my own personal standard, and there's no consistency for any of the games, anyways. So it's fucking free for all, no matter what.
You guys sound like Benfica, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey.
I sound like a Benfica for saying it shouldn't be a PK on my own team. Wow. And it was uncalled too. So
I don't think that's not accurate.
Raul Silva made a own move. That was his fault because you should know better. But if you look at Juiz Final, I think you can find that in Record, and you'll see the replay, and you'll see him clearly looking at him. He fez uma sacanagem. He fouled him purposely. He knew he was going to get away with it. And he got away with it. But that was a clear PK. Even the commentators on Sports TV, which he said, I don't know if you guys picked up on it. He said that Sporting winning against Braga later on into the season, that could be important points for the third place. Time. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, que azia do caralho, o filho da puta já tem,
I guess
Benfiquista, certeza.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead,
I guess
Chris.
Just a couple more notes on the game.
Yeah.
So Porto, obviously, we know Porto was the star man. Fantastic game. Adan, another solid game. Neto, another solid game. Pedro Gonçalves was quiet again, literally up until his moment where him and Nuno Santos were both quiet until that big moment. And that was great. And then honestly, I thought it was kind of ballsy to sub Nuno Santos off right after that assist and put Tabata in, because I think you can make a case for taking off Gonçalves or Nuno Santos in that moment, and they had both just contributed to the goal. So one of them is obviously going to be salty that they're getting taken off. And unfortunately, I don't think Tabata made the most of his opportunity. He was okay, nothing special, but he definitely had a big opportunity there to show something. And I thought that Tomas, again, didn't really have too good of a game, swallowed up by Rolando, which is not what you want to see. And I thought that we critiqued him in the last game, the Bologna game, sad game, sorry, for not subbing Sporad in for Thiago Tomas earlier. He subbed him in right at 55 when he saw that it wasn't really happening, and it paid off. Sporad, I thought, was pretty good. He kind of dribbled spastically a couple times, but he literally created the goal on that one run. That was all Sporad. So the subs paid off. Mateus Nunes also got the rebound, and yeah, I mean, we definitely were fortunate. We didn't concede at any point, and this could be a 2-2 game, a 1-1 game on another day. It is a bit fortunate. The last 3 games, Ferenc, Bologna, Sad, and this one, on other days, maybe all 3 of those results are different, but the team is just getting results, churning them out by any means possible, even if they're not always getting the correct calls or the correct calls from the refs all the time. It's sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. But the team's clearly rolling and not letting stuff like that get to them that much. So it's refreshing, kind of. It's something that Steph said, and I feel the same way. It's like we have to overperform, you know. We have to. It feels like we really have to score 2 goals instead of 1, you know, just in case something fucked up happens. But we've done it so far.
Yeah, so far so good. And Sam, last but not least, what were your thoughts on this game, dude?
I'm just gonna start off. I know we're a bit past penalty decision now, but just to put my 2 cents into it. The Fadal one, I don't think it is, because like Chris said, I think the ball might have been out of reach for him anyway. Whether he got the push or not, he wouldn't have got it. The Thiago Thomas one, I'm not gonna lie, I've not seen since the game, but at the time I did think it was a penalty, and the same with the handball. So I think I would say 2 penalties, not that one on Fadal. And there's also a point I would like to make about the ref as well. I think he really controlled the flow of the game. Like every foul, every point of contact was a foul. It didn't really let the game flow very well, especially in the first half, I thought. And Galeno, I was going to say, he did not play in the wing. He played in Pedro Porro's right pocket. He was so quiet. Pedro Porro was so good that game, and I think it's literally a matter of time. If we don't activate that 8 million, someone else will. He has been one of the best players in the league, and I think he has the potential to be one of the best. Sporar was fantastic when he came on. Port had a really another odd game. He scored, but he didn't really do much. I see a lot of people saying they're not sure who have to start, Thiago Tomas or Sporar. And like I said earlier, I think it depends on the game. To that point as well, I thought Matheus Nunes when he came on was fantastic. He didn't get a lot of game time this season, but I'm glad he's sort of easing his way in. I know we talked a bit about John Mario last time, but I'm very glad to see that Amorim is mixing with a few of the youngsters. That was a great goal, and I think that's literally just what Matheus Nunes needs to start kicking off and being that type of player, which I think we saw the potential in the last bit of the season, but I think he definitely can go up there. I have an issue correct with my phone. Every time I click Porro, it types Porto, and it's literally the most annoying fucking thing because everyone thinks it's talking about Porto and it's talking about Porro. But anyway, I think all in all, fantastic game, fantastic performance. I think Lauren said it earlier. The fact we're not playing well and winning this game is a good thing because you don't need to play 100% or fantastically all the time to win. Last point I'll make is that I really want to see Paulinho in a Sporting shirt. Off the ball, I think he's a fantastic player, and the same on the ball. That finish, although it was offside, was fantastic. I think he's a great player, I think the sooner we get him in, the better for us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
I will
Let me just
say that's another case that needs to kind of get discussed. I hope that you guys think that I call balls and strikes when it comes to the VAR lines. I think that the Paulinho one's the right call. I do. He's offside. I do think that you have a good enough angle to see that he is just offside.
yeah.
Porto, I will say the 3 centimeters. Porto got fucked. That one is straight bullshit, and I'll say that it's straight bullshit. But the Paulinho one, while close, I think that they actually got it right. And if he was on, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna show. I was just trying to set it up. So I'm gonna show it with the lines and without the lines. The images.
You can almost see it better without the lines, because
yes, I was gonna say that. That's why I'm showing both mainly. Here, let me fast forward to it. But yeah, because the lines make it seem a bit closer. But let me go with the lines first. Let me just Bimba Taki. Okay, perfect. So share
just a quick thing
screen.
as well. That Porro
Yeah.
after the game when he was like had the jacket on and he was like screaming. I just saw Figo Ronaldo in the chat say it. That is a Sportingista at heart, and I love seeing players like that. I don't care where they come from or what country they're from or where they play. I just love to see it.
Same. I was just gonna make 2 quick points on everything. One, Ruben Amorim clearly watches this podcast because last week Steph was saying how our midfield needed the midfield of João Pedinho and Matheus Nunes to be a bit more solid. Heard him perfectly. So thanks, Steph. Your tactics pulled off perfectly against Braga. And 2, that meme with Pedro Porro in his ripped up jeans when he first signed, and then Galeno going like that. Chef's kiss to whoever did that. Chef's kiss. Anyways, let's get back to this. So I guess there's no lines on this one. I was convinced there was the lines on this one. But Paulinho is this guy right there. Neto's the last defender here. I mean, it seems like he's a foot ahead, right? Here's the thing, though. I don't want to be hypocritical because I've been complaining for loads in this podcast in terms of VAR shouldn't be used as a measurement tool. We've mentioned it a million times. Christian, you brought up this great point that I agree with, how we'll never have the exact line. The camera's never on line with the defender.
This is a better than average line, which is
agreed.
Why
it's not that far back.
Yeah,
agreed. It's not that far back. I agree. It's an offside. My only agreement to it being an offside is this has been called all over. This is the standard that VAR has been instilling. If finally they decide to do it, where if it's a few centimeters, we'll give the benefit of doubt to the attack. I think that would have been unfair in terms of how they've been proceeding with this the entire season, basically. So I'd agree. I think this is a fair offside. I can get some frustration with Braga fans, but truly to sort of say, we stole this game, I think is laughable. Like, I mean, if anybody's been watching soccer since VAR's been on, they've seen bullshit calls, and this is a lot more evident that it's offside than many other calls that were called against. Let me just remind you, maybe last year, the Rafa goal against Porto, or like they were going off Rafa's like toenail, this seems clear to me, at least, that I don't know how well you can see it anyways, but it seems clear to me that Paulinho's offside. But anyways, yeah, let's get back into it. What were you guys seeing? What were you guys saying? I think we all agree, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me see. Is there anything else I wanted to bring up in terms of jogadas?
Can I
guys.
bring up the goalkeeper fouling Spora? What is it? Matthews, the goalkeeper for Braga? When
that one, yes.
Spora, I think personally that should have been a red, and I'm surprised the VAR didn't even have a look at it. But I think it was because it was ruled offside. They didn't give anything. But that was fucking dangerous. If that connects with his leg, then God helps. I believe it was Spora, but I think that was a really dangerous tackle. I don't know what you guys thought about it.
I agree. Did he get a yellow for that?
He got a yellow. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I don't think he was the last man back though, so I could be wrong. But what do you guys?
And the play was dead also too.
It was dead.
Yeah.
He what Sammy's saying is the player was dead, and he still went. Feeds up, and he should have gotten a red card. And again, they said that again in some panels that he should have gotten a red card because the player was dead. And why the fuck would he go that way and try to injure, a professional player, not a teammate, but a co-worker? So I agree. He should have maybe gotten a red card because the player was dead, for God's sake. Why would you go in such a harsh way?
He didn't fully get him. It's after the play, so it's harsh. I think it's a yellow for me as well. I don't think it's a red. But also, it must be noted who's the staff member who tried to fight Mateus. I don't know if you guys remember. He got right up in his grill right after it happened, and I was like,
that was Vidal.
That guy might get a fine for that because honestly, that was kind of crazy.
He was a coach. He was a goalkeeper coach. Yeah.
That could have ended a lot worse on another day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was wild.
So
I'm sure if that was Amorim, he'd get a red for that, anyways. He's got a red for less this season.
If it was Sérgio Conceição, he would be spoken to. Don't do it again, and that's it.
E se fosse do Jorge Jesus, esquece. Don't worry about it.
Jorge Conceição, they have a carte blanche. Get away with that.
Everything. Another thing I wanted to mention and ask you guys, it was mentioned, I think, by Christian, another kind of ghost game by Pot. I know he scored the goal, but he didn't do much. I was actually, when after we scored the goal, we made 2 substitutions, and we subbed off Nuno Santos and Thiago Tomás. I thought maybe Pot instead of Nuno Santos should have went. Truthfully, I thought Nuno Santos was more into the game. One, is there much to be worried about? I mean, at the end of the day, he still did get a goal. So, but 2, do you think he should be dropped if he has a bad game against Nacional at least, or if he goes ghost against Nacional? What do you guys think? Anybody could really think that.
No, I don't think so. No, the thing is, Pot is playing a different position. He likes to play in the middle as a midfielder, offensive in the middle, and he's been playing on the left or the right, and that's not his comfortable position. But as you could see against Braga, when he had the chance to score the goal, he did score the goal. Sometimes you have players on the pitch that can even score the goddamn goal when they give him the chance. So, and that's why you got to keep him on the pitch. If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, he scores a lot of goals, but sometimes throughout the game he doesn't do much. But when he's given the chance, he scores the goals. And Pot is that kind of player. So that's why you got to keep him on the pitch because he'll make the difference when given the chance. Okay, go ahead.
I'll take it from here. I think it's harsh to drop him, especially because of what is it, 3 in a row Player of the Month. I don't see how you can be like, I know you've won the Player of the Month. I think it's either 3 or twice in a row, but it's just like, you're being dropped. That can't happen. And maybe a rest in, like you guys were saying, for the Taça da Liga game, just rest all the key starters, or maybe keep a Dan and a few others. But I just think he needs a rest, really. He's been playing since, I know everyone really has, but he's one of the players that have been non-stop running and working. And although he didn't really offer a lot on the ball, off the ball he was getting into the positions and he still had the tempo. But I think maybe a rest might do him well. Maybe not against Nacional, but in the Taça da Liga games, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
That was my Benfiquista wife fucking witch.
Bad day for her. Bad day for her.
She's not a diehard fan. She's a Benfiquista, but she doesn't even know the name of the coach. I mean, I think the coach she knows.
I don't know the name of the coach.
Well,
it's Judas.
Yeah, we've erased that name out of our memory.
Hey, so far he's keeping his promise to Sporting160EN.
Yeah. I didn't want. I'll say that give me 1 more month, and I'm bantering Benfica fans. So long as this keeps up. I can't really think of anything else. Really, I mean, we discussed the penalties. We discussed a lot of the
I've got
cases.
one point, and it's not
João
like
Mario better.
Yeah.
He Palinha didn't have his best game. He was also, I saw one of the comments earlier. I think someone says he was getting battered. Yeah, he was getting fucking hammered by Braga players. I think João Mario of the two had the better game. And then obviously when Mateus Nunes got in there, he was obviously pretty good as well. Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about most of the individual players as well.
Well, we got to pick an MVP.
Yeah. But what were you gonna say, Sam?
it surprised me that they have Rolando and they have Eduardo, the goalkeeper, who's like 40 odd years old.
Who was booked.
Seeing all these familiar faces gives me such nostalgia. And I'm only 21, but it's just like
Gaitan. Is he dead? What happened to him?
Who?
Gaitan, right?
That's another guy I erased from my memory. He didn't play. He didn't play though.
I think him failing there was probably the most predictable thing of all time.
He might have had COVID. I don't know.
He got no burn at Chicago Fire. It's like
yeah. I don't know what I personally don't know what Braga was thinking. I hope Dave is still in the chat. If he is, help me through this, dude. What were you guys thinking with Gaitan? Though at first I was like, okay, they're bringing in some experience. He knows the Portuguese league, but yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
as well. Can I just say, sorry, one more thing, I promise.
No, yeah, I was passing through.
Do you remember in the summer when, I'm not going to name the people, but we had a lot of Sporting users saying, Braga had a better transfer window than us, they picked a better manager than us, they played better than us. They are all gone. It's so quiet, and I think Amorim deserves an apology. I know for a fact 2 people I can name, but I won't. But just like we said at the start of this season, be patient, and it's worked. So do not jump to any rash conclusions.
I think I was definitely one of the ones that said that Braga got a better coach. I don't know about better transfer window. Now I can't remember transfer window because I did like our transfer window even from the start, but better coach for sure. For sure. My bad. Amuring, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. I'm glad to be wrong.
Once we get a new striker, man, we're going to be ready to fucking go. We're like 1 or 2 players away. I think
honestly, this team for me is screaming for a guy like if we still had Slimani or Bas Dost or even Freddie Monteiro, like this team is screaming for that undisputable number 9 in our team. I think.
Because I like what Ruben Amorim is doing with Tiago Tomás and Sporad. He's keeping them competing against each other. And
he's making the best of what he has.
I like that.
Yeah, right. But he said in the conference interview, he said it. I'm keeping them competing against each other. Tiago Tomás has shown me more in the practices, and that's why he got the call. But if Sporad shows me more, you get to play next game. And I love the way he expresses himself, and I love the way he talks because he keeps the players motivated. And he keeps me motivated too, to tell the truth.
Same. Agreed.
He's my favorite.
Listen, I
gotta tell you, he's my favorite Lampião.
There was a question earlier. I think it was from Mundo Udum Leão. Who's your favorite Lampião in terms of Nuno Santos and Ruben Amorim? I'm saying Amorim. They're not Lampiões. I like that. They're not Lampiões anymore.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, guys, man of the match. I think there's 2 obvious ones that I think we'll all debate on. I'm going to start it off by putting my vote with Porro. But what do you guys think?
I'm also going to go Porro, and I think it's between 2, and I'm going to lean Porro.
I'll go Porro as well. But I know who the 2 is. But it's
How about you, Steph?
I'm going to go with Adan. Because he showed up in the most difficult portion of the game. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, he kept us at bay, we would have been in trouble.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention Adan real quick, too, because Adan, he stood on his head this game. I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but there was that huge save, of course, on, I think it was Paulinho from an Ishgayu cross. Ishgayu was offside, so had he let that in, it wouldn't have been a big deal because this guy was offside. I think Amorim even at the press conference even said he wouldn't have minded if it then let that goal in because then it would have been offside. They wouldn't have won the corner and potentially have scored from that corner. Of course, thankfully they didn't. But that could have been the case. But yeah, I'm going with Poru only because Poru this game. Listen, Galenu. I don't want to speak too crazy, but I think at least top 3 top wingers. I think in this league. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Alex. What's his name? The Colombian Luis Diaz from Porto. I agree. I think he's in the wrong team. I think it's Luis Diaz by far the top. I'll put Pot since he's been playing on the wing. Pot is number 2, and Galeno is 3. But Galeno, I mean, he was non-existent that game. He had maybe like 2-3 good chances, but the guy ripped his shirt for a reason. Poru was a headache. And then I wanted to just finally share this real quick. His reaction after the game was just absolutely beautiful. Let me. It's gonna be Sport TV though, so maybe I can't. Never mind, I won't do it. But Poru yelling at the end, with the fucking celebrating the 2-0 win. And even before the game finished, he won a big tackle that went for a throw-in, and him yelling as if it was a fucking goal. This is the mentality. This is the players I've been dying for at Sporting. So
he's going to be a Sporting player. I
really hope
8.5 million. Consider that a done deal.
I hope so.
It's 8 million. But listen, the kid was dead at Manchester City. Guardiola was not giving him a chance. So we revived his football career. We put him back on the map. He's about to get a call from the national team of Spain. So, of course, he loves Sporting, and we love him too. If we could, come up with 8 million euros and buy him, because the guy is good and he's fully motivated, and he fits in the system of Ruben Amorim.
He might even end up getting a shot at Manchester City before it's all said and done. To be honest, he's only 21.
2-year loan, the 2-year loan, and we have the option to buy him off. So if we qualify to the Champions League, that's $40 million, by the way. So
could someone else buy him though? Say from like I'm obviously not like logically, but say if Real Madrid go to Man City next season and say, oh yeah, we'll give you 30 million, do Man City have to say no, or do we have the option? They have to say no.
I think we have priority. Yeah,
we have priority. It's part of the contract. The loan was 2 years and a clause of $8 million to buy him off. So
we could buy him for 8 and then flip him for 25 immediately or something like that.
We could, yeah.
That could end up happening because I mean, if he gets so good and he's starting for Spain and such, it's going to be tough, like any other young player we have to fend off the Sharks if they come.
But like you said, Chris, we have to be smart about it. Buy him off and then sell for the double.
Yeah, we got it. Think it's exactly what Trabzonspor did to us with Demiral. You buy him for 3 and then immediately flip for 15 or whatever, 20 or whatever, So I think the 8, you buy him no matter what. And I mean, even if we immediately sell, you still are activating that clause, and we have 2 years to do it. So
hopefully, Brandon and shithead Viennas are listening to us.
Like I said, Amorim seemed to listen to you in terms of Mateus Nunes. I don't know. They stopped us from having an interview with one of their athletes. I think we're on their map. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're listening.
I think so.
We will be soon. We will be soon.
That's for sure.
No, really soon. Wait for the announcement. You guys are gonna love this one.
Facts.
Confirmed.
I'm trying to think of other news we can talk about. I kind of also wanted to go because there was a request to talk. I think it was from Marco Butello to talk about the game today. Just wanted to quickly mention, I think it's today or yesterday marked a year since Amorim has not only been at Sporting but has been coaching. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, let's give more credit to this guy because he came in and we were all scratching our head about the price. I think we can still talk about that. It's still up in the air. I mean, he hasn't. At the end of the day, he has yet to win anything, right? But so far, so good with this year. What are your guys' overall thoughts with Amorim? Let me just say quickly, I think what helps a lot with Amorim is he was I don't want to say he was a top player, but he was a really good player. I mean, he played for the Portuguese national team. I think what stopped him was injuries along his career that really hindered him from being maybe making it past Benfica. Not that Benfica is a small team, obviously not, but making it past Benfica and maybe like playing for a big team abroad. But I think just his presence as a player, especially in this young core of a team that we have that is learning how to become a player, most of them at least, I think is super beneficial. And more so than just the tactics, just how he is, I guess, in the locker room, what it seems to us, at least from the outside looking in, has made such a huge impact. But a year of coaching, what do you guys think of Amorim, man?
Man, I'm not going to take too long. I'll give you my 2 cents. I think he's done a phenomenal job, and it's a proven fact that to be a great coach, you have to be a great leader. And he's got the skill set. He's a great leader. And it doesn't matter where he comes from. He played at Belenenses, Braga, Benfica. That's where he played. He's a Benfiquista assumido. We all know that. There's nothing to hide about that. But he's such a professional coach that he put that aside, and he's coaching Sporting to the best of his abilities. He's getting the best of our youth. He's getting the best of our veterans. And he's been mixing and matching our youth and veterans. And here's the results. 12 games, win first place with 32 points. Benfica and Porto with 28 points behind us, and nobody thought we could do it. Of course, we haven't won anything, but so far, so good. And he shows the leadership he has. Even in the flash interviews, in the conference interviews, he shows a lot of composure, leadership, and character. He never talks out of his ass. He's always respectful, and he knows what to say and how to say it in a respectful way. So far, so good. I love what he's doing, and keep up the good job, Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll just add my 2 cents to it. I'm just going to say I agree with everything that Steph said, and I just want to add a point. I'm not sure about you guys, but the way he like puts Matheus Nunes and João Mario and Palhinha, you can tell that he has an effect on the central midfielders, because that's what he was. I'm not trying to say that I can't say how good Amorim's career was, because I don't really follow his career specifically. But I think he takes pride in those midfielders, especially someone like Matheus Nunes and Daniel Bragança, because we were begging for a little bit of fresh blood, and he come in and he ran that straight away. And just with the young players, it seems like everyone looks up to him, not just as a manager, but like Steph said, as a leader. And I think I translated something for the Twitter account, and it was about, I think it was Nuno Santos when he was at Benfica. And he said, even when he wasn't a coach, he always took the time to make sure the younger players were comfortable, make sure everyone was on the same page. And I think he's done well to just sort of like forget the price tag. He's not let it put him under pressure. I just think if he continues to do what he's doing, he's going to be a top coach, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Chris, anything you want to add on to it, or shall we move to the Benfica game?
Yeah, let's move on.
Quickly, not only the Benfica game, obviously we can talk about the Porto game as well, but of course with the result today of 1-1 between Santa Clara and Benfica, it puts us 4 points clear, meaning we have a 2-game advantage basically. I just wanted to quickly mention that. How do you guys feel with that? Does it change a lot? I mean, of course, at one point of the season we were 5 points clear, so now it's just 4. But how are we feeling? And honestly, Ruben Amorim doesn't want to assume it yet. But are we title contenders?
1/3 of the season's over. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think so. I know so. I think we title contenders, and 4 points is nothing. But at the same time, we could, if like I told you guys offline, the next game is Nacional, Liga Nós only. Nacional. Then we play at home Rio Ave, and then Boa Vista, and then it's the big game for Benfica. So if we win these 3 games, and let's say if they tie, could potentially be 6 points apart from that. So, but I like the way Ruben Amorim thinks, which is let's think one game at a time.
Agreed. I just also want to say, since somebody asked us to mention the Benfica game, how is that not a penalty? Head-on-head clashed. I know the player was going for the ball. I don't think he was trying to fuck up the guy, but he goes for the ball, misses, hits the guy in the head. I think that's a clear penalty. Nonetheless, whatever. At least it finished as a draw. But and who's to say if they don't score that penalty's not scored, and then Benfica go on the other end and score a 2-1, right? We'll never know at this point. But
I'll take a draw. Any draw points, I'll take.
Yeah, me too.
Same. I can't complain too much. I agree.
But I like what Danny said on Twitter when he said when George Jesus said we still have a lot of campeonato left, and then Danny put it on Facebook. He said a lot of campeonato para roubar.
Yeah, es verdad. Robar. How Paul Bint did. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about. We talked about a lot.
Plata.
Possible.
Should we let Plata go on loan to Cadiz?
That's the only last thing really before we go into modalidades. I don't see why not, but what do you guys think?
Might as well. It's better than him just sitting on the bench. So if he's just gonna rot away, then it doesn't help him or his potential. Whereas if you loan him out and he does well, if we don't include a buy clause, then there is no harm done. We haven't really needed him this season, but if we do need him in the future, then I'd happily loan him out.
For sure, no buy clause. Maybe a Portuguese league team. Trying to think one where it would make sense. Probably not Guimarães, like a better team, like Rio Ave,
like
maybe.
a Rio Ave, Paços Ferreira.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not opposed to him.
After we play them.
Sorry?
Rio Ave after we play them.
No, he can.
He can't play against us anyways.
It's literally to take points away from Benfica and Porto.
Well, the thing
he can play against them.
Yeah, the biggest handicap I find about Plata, he's not really good defending, and that's why Ruben Amorim struggles with putting him on the pitch, unless he has to find a way to score goals. But in a game that's tied up, and Plata will never start because he starts defending. He's not good.
Yeah. Sam, Juicebox Leal's asking if you speak Portuguese.
I'm trying to learn, but not at the moment.
Sometimes I
fair enough. Sometimes that's bits, yeah. I like that.
No.
Now you know.
I lost you. Say that again.
Buchaninha.
I don't even know that word. Yeah, that's that. Steph, take it away with our modalidades, bro.
Okay, Pshena. Okay, here you go. Okay, so basketball. So we played twice against Overense. So the first game was on Saturday against Overense, which is not too far from my hometown, Iliv. We won for the Liga Placar 89-58, which we've remained undefeated in first place, 12 games in a row. So good game by Sporting. Then the next following day, on Sunday, we played against them again for the Portuguese Cup, a much tougher game. They came up with a better tactics, and it's a new coach, and we beat them still 93-80, but only by 13 points, because the last game in comparison was by more than 30 points. Then in football, soccer, we won 2-0 against Braga, which we just spoke about that. In the our ladies, they went all the way to Funchal Marítimo. We won 2-1 in a very, very tough game. We up 1-0. The Marítimo tied up, and then towards the end, Carolina, she scored the second goal, the winning goal, and then we finished the regular season with undefeated in first place. Now it's 4 teams from the South Division and 4 teams from the North Division matching up together. So it'll be 8 teams all together. And now we will see who's going to be the champion. So it'll be very interesting. Some very interesting games. Futsal, we had the seniors. We won the Taça Portugal, which we spoke about that the last podcast. But we came back to our first league, and we won 15-1 against Elétrico FC. And the game we dominated the first half. We were 10-0, 10-0. And then we scored 5 more goals, and Electric scored 1, and it made it 15-1. So we're still undefeated in first place in futsal. Volleyball, the ladies went away to GC Vila Condense, and we won 3-0, which was a great game by our ladies. And that's all I got for you. Teixeira out.
I just wanted to quickly show the half-court shot made. I hope, please, Sporting, don't take us down. Just wanted to show exactly. I don't know. Can you guys see that there? Should I enlarge it?
Yeah. No, that's good. I think.
Yeah. Again, that's a nice.
Bimba.
Tumba na casca.
That was pretty nice. That was pretty nice indeed.
I like the symbol and how many championships we have on the side of the basketball. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, and a special quick shout out to Edgar Davids at the Campeonato Portugal with Olhanense. Crazy news today, actually.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's good. Yeah.
I wonder how to see how he is as a coach. I know he had like a player coach spell at Barnet, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was horrible, but I mean, aside from that, it's going to be interesting to see.
By Jordan, what do you think about Neto?
Yeah, I think. Hey, I think actually we should. That's a good question. We should give him his praises because Neto the last, I'd say 5-6 games has been solid for us.
He does his job. But that's what he bought. Like he was originally bought for a backup before we had Amorim change formation. But to his credit, he's done well.
No.
Fringes.
Relax.
Fringes.
Well, to be fair, he always calls up like Bruno Alves and fucking like all these old players. So
they're all old. It's like he's just another one of them. Is he the most informed old?
You know what? Now that you mention that,
bring Rolando back in.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck Rolando. That's you've gone too far for Rolando.
What do you think, Steph, about Neto?
I think Neto in this game was actually one of his best performances. So he was on point, even with his offensive vision. He was on point with his passes. So I was very, very content with his performance.
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody mentioned that futsal tied 4-4 and
Benfica and Braga tied 4-4, so we are isolated leaders.
Yes, we are. Thank you. The real
our boy Rui.
It's
our boy Rui.
Yeah.
Our boy Rui.
Yeah. That's important. Yeah. Braga beat them 7-1 in the final cup of futsal.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's look forward to. I was going to say next week, but it's actually in a few days. Sporting will go to Madeira to play Nacional for the Taça da Liga, or for the Campeonato, for the Liga. A tough game. I mean, we've seen the conditions that the pitch was in. I know it's a different island. I don't know how the.
No, there's actually supposed to rain in Thursday in Funchal. So.
What do you guys think? Are we getting that game called off or delayed a game? Or we'll see. Not for us, at least. Yeah.
Look at today's game. Look at today's game. A shout out to João Castro. He's on the chat. I don't know if you guys noticed. He said, as a great leader, he's talking about Neto on the pitch. He can be shit sometimes, but has a great raça when necessary. So that's a great comment from João Castro. But now look at today. Phenomenal job by the workers of Santa Clara. The pitch yesterday was a mess. Today it was beautiful. So it leads me to believe that the people from Madeira and Azores, they used to that kind of weather, so they know what to do to overcome those kind of conditions. And the president of Santa Clara said it. No, today the game is going to happen because he knew exactly what they had to do for the pitch to be in good condition. So I think the same will be applied in Nacional, in Madeira, because they know better than we do how to handle those kind of ugly weather conditions. So we'll be fine. We'll go to Nacional. You don't want to delay games because if you play later, it's going to fuck up a sequence of other games, and we will win. We will win again. I'm fully confident.
Yeah. Let me just quickly also go through Nacional's last 5 games. They beat Tondela 2-0 after 2 red cards from Tondela. They beat Leixões in the Taça Portugal 3-1. They lost 2-0 to Porto. Lost 3-1 at home to Santa Clara, and then I ended up losing 1-0 at Portimonense. They're currently sitting in 9th, 13 points.
Didn't they have a game canceled or something?
They did have a game. Yeah. They haven't. Yeah, they were supposed to have a game this weekend, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That was canceled. So yeah. But yeah, what do you guys think? And like I was mentioning, they're a game behind still. They still have only 11 games. They're supposed to play Guimarães, but they're only 2 points off of Portimonense, who's on that last that playoff relegation spot. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, the preview. Whoever wants to, Chris, I'll give it to you.
I think that we'll get the result. I think it might be. I remember one of the early comments missing those games where we win 4-0. Yeah, I missed those too. We've kind of been shithousing a little bit. And unfortunately, I think that the shithousing might have to continue if the conditions aren't great. But as long as we turn out the result, which I think we will, I'm going to say 2-1.
2-1. And Steph, let me quickly just say, there's a girl named Kelly. Kelly, if you're somehow listening to this, I love you, girl. Shoot your shot 2021. Sam, what about you, dude? Jeez.
I hate watching us go to Madeira because I just always hate the conditions there. Especially playing away at Madeira is always dangerous, and I've since I was a kid I've hated watching Sporting play there. But I'm going to agree with Richard Neves. I think it's going to be another shithousery 1-0. With the conditions there, I'm going to go with a 1-0, and I'll guess Sporar will score.
Ooh, good shot. I actually think Sporar will start this game. In my opinion, but we'll see. I'm gonna agree. I think the shithousery will continue. I think it's gonna be another tough game. I would love a 5-0. I would love a 4-0. I don't think that'll come just yet. Especially playing away to Nacional, especially if the weather is a little fucked. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Sporting though. But yeah, I'll keep it consistent with the win, though I'm dying to say a draw because I don't know. Benfica drop points. I got a funny feeling, but we'll see. We'll see, of course. Yeah, I think that's it. Unless anything else wants to be added. Let me just quickly put up these last few points.
I didn't give you my score.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't give you my score.
My bad. Go ahead. What's your score?
I know you don't like me.
What? I thought you did.
3-0 Sporting.
3-0 Sporting. Who's scoring the goals, bro?
Oh, it's easy. It's going to be Sporar. I think I agree. And before I say that, I'm going to give you guys a little challenge really fast, and you have 30 seconds each. And then I'm going to start with Chris. What's your lineup for Nacional?
What's my lineup for Nacional?
Yeah.
Adan, Fidal, Coates, Neto, Palinha, João Mario, Sporar, Gonçalves, Tomas.
You're dropping
Same.
Nuno Santos, eh?
I'm dropping Nuno Santos, yeah. And keeping Tomas, but in hopefully, I think his more preferred position.
Mm.
Go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead.
Your turn.
I'm pretty much just going to go with the same for the Braga one, bar a few. Adan, Quartes, Vidal, Neto, Porro, Nuno Mendes, Polina. I think maybe Matheus Nunes might be instead of João Mario. And then I think Tabata instead of Nuno Santos, Pedro Gonçalves, and Spora.
Danny?
I'm going to say I think we're going to have the same lineup as this last game. So Adan, Fidal, Quatch, Neto, Nuno Mendes, Porro, João Mario, João Palhinha, Pot, Nuno Santos, and Sporar up top. Even though I think I'm the president of the Tiago Tomás fan club. Let me just also say that too. But I think Sporar will start this game.
Okay, that's good. That's good lineups. I'm going to say 3-0, and my lineup would be Adan, Quats, Fidal, Net, Mendes, Porro, Palhinha, Matheus Nunes, Pot, Tabat, and Sporar. It's a heavy pitch, and we need stronger players with more physical capacities. That's the lineup I would go.
I agree. I don't know how to transition this, but who wants to go ahead with this big announcement we've been teasing? Because I'm excited.
We're going to give it to Sam.
Sam,
Oh, so much pressure.
take it away, my guy.
Go ahead. Big announcement.
Hopefully this
now
doesn't freeze in the middle of it. Knowing StreamYard, it probably will freeze the whole thing. But I'm going to just say, first of all, this is all thanks to the people who watch. No matter if you watch one episode or you watch two or you watch all of them, we're grateful, and this wouldn't have been done without you. But we are very, very pleased to announce on the 29th of January at 9 p.m, Bruno de Carvalho is going to be on this podcast. That is that big announcement we have been teasing for so long. But yes, we've Bruno de Carvalho in English speaking to us, answering your Twitter questions, and just getting drunk with the boys. That's pretty much it.
Getting drunk with the boys. Yeah, so 9
I don't know
GMT
about that,
time.
but maybe.
We'll see. I'll bust out some Molson Canadians. I'll see if he's down to drink with us. But yeah, 9 p.m. GMT time. So for Portugal and the UK, 4 o'clock for us over on the East Coast. If you guys are on the East Coast, but yeah, same sentiments as Sam said. Thanks for you guys. 1 o'clock Pacific Coast. Of course, we do have some fans out in the West Coast. Shout out to them. But yeah, we're actually super excited. So keep tweeting us, keep tweeting Bruno, hype him up for this podcast too. Because and throw in any questions that you might want us to ask him. Of course, keep in mind we're only going to ask him so many questions because we only got so much time with him. But yeah, January 29th. Mark that on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, because Bruno Carvalho will be here.
The chat is going crazy.
The chat is going crazy. If I'm a little slow, it's because of that. But still,
confirmed it today that you would be on the podcast on the 29th, 1600 our time, 2100 Portuguese time, and it's a total excitement. Also to Tiago Botelho with Tigas from Sporting160, the one who does the modalidades. He's going to be with us before Bruno Carvalho, and we'll let you know when. But he's been a phenomenal commentator for the modalidades with Sporting160, and he agreed to come to our podcast, and he'll do his own version, which he does in Portuguese, in English. So it'll be exciting too. And then after Tiago Botelho, it'll be Bruno Carvalho, which he's been a complete gentleman in accepting our invitation. And he's been phenomenal communicating with us. Our president, Bruno Carvalho, I still consider him our real president like Donald Trump. I'm only kidding. He still is until the 20th. But Bruno Carvalho will be live, and I'm excited. It gives me goosebumps just because I became a socio because of him in 2014. So I'm super excited. I'm taking that day off because I had to go to work. So I know Danny got the day off. I know Chris.
Just the day.
You got the day off too, Chris?
I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly I'm doing, but yeah, I'll probably take off.
Yeah. If I don't, I'll take off for sure. And then Sammy said he's available already. So
yeah, my shift doesn't. My shift finishes at like finishes at like 4, so I've got loads of time.
Yeah. So in worst case scenario, you always have that option of a case of severe diarrhea, and then you have to go home.
Exactly, bro. Now is the perfect time to call in sick. You just have a little bit of a sore throat. Hey, não posso ir, cara. Coronavirus.
So Sammy's working on the questions, and then Chris and I and Danny will be sending him questions. And, one thing about Sammy is really good in putting the questions together. That's one of his fortes. So then we'll have some great questions for Bruno Carvalho, and I'm totally excited. And I'm going to stop because then I won't stop talking.
Just make sure to. Oh, Chris is gone. Chris, with the excitement, has disappeared.
Chris is a Varandas fanboy. I can already tell.
You guys are right.
I was just going to say, make sure make sure to get your questions in.
For sure.
Yeah, send your questions in so we can add them to our questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking,
we'll see you guys.
Holy shit! This is better than dating my first girlfriend.
Jeez.
I don't know about all that, but it's close enough.
Shout out to my first girlfriend, wherever you are.
I know.
Yeah, might as well get a shout out. Fuck that bitch. Fuck.
I'm dead.
She was missing a couple of teeth, wasn't she? Okay.
She was missing the fucking brain cells.
Anyway, so that's it, boys.
Anyways, thank you guys for everybody in the chat. Shout out to the real Alfred Kerski, aka Rui, Even Mota, Mundo Leão, Lauren Jenks, Juicebox Leal, Mark Butello, Casa de Paiva, Jordan Bentoncourt, Richard Neves. There's a lot of you guys today. Actually, at one point, we actually had like 30 people with us live, which I don't think we've even hit since we had the 160 boys on. I know they also helped because they told their viewers to come follow us here, but shout out to them as well. Shout out to Sporting160. Who else? Shout out to João Castro as I'm shouting out Sporting160. Shout out to Jeff Hilario, Fake MMHD, Francisco Matos. Who else am I missing here? I think that's everybody. Figo 7 Ronaldo. Shout out to you, bro. And yeah, that's basically everybody that I can at least see. Sprung. Shout out to Sprung. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We do appreciate you guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Sporting160_EN, YouTube Sporting160EN, Instagram Sporting160EN, Facebook Sporting160EN. Spreadshirt Sporting160EN. Mark January 29th on your calendars. It's going to be a special one. And yeah, that's podcast number 92 in the wraps. That's the first game of 2021. I didn't even ask you guys how your New Year's was because I was so excited for this podcast. How was your New Year's, guys? Mine was so boring. I was at home.
I didn't do shit. I sat at home. Yeah, I sat at home.
I was home too with the wife, kids, and a couple neighbors. That's it.
That sums it up.
You out there with the new you out partying with the new coronavirus you guys started out there or what?
Nah, it was me and my girlfriend's 2-year anniversary, so we just stayed
nice.
indoors.
Hey, that was mean.
Beautiful.
That was mean.
Why does that mean?
He's not wrong.
I mean,
they do have a new coronavirus strain, bro.
We're in lockdown again. It's like the fourth time.
Toronto's still in lockdown. We've been in lockdown since like November.
So what do you guys do when you're in lockdown?
Yeah, basically.
You're locked down.
Okay.
Anyway, shout out to everybody. Thanks you guys for watching number 92. Hopefully 2021 is our year. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. And yeah, Viva o Sporting.
Viva Sporting Clube Portugal. O maior, number one.